Well, welcome everyone to the Real Deal Anita Gill's reaction. Today we will be watching in the trial of Letecia Stauch's Letecia Stauch's daughter, her oldest daughter, will be testifying against her today. And y'all pay attention because we got to react to it, okay? Because to me, it seems like I'm gonna react to it now. I seen a little bit earlier. It's strange how my mom put a lot of pressure on the oldest daughter. They end up getting a babysitter when they went out of town, and usually they don't. And there's a lot of stuff happen, but I'm not gonna tell you because y'all about like my children. They don't want me to tell them that y'all want to see it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is watch her oldest daughter testify. Okay, she's gonna try to remember the best as she can. She young, y'all. And when this happened to her, she was about 16 years old. So she have to think back because she's not 16 now. Okay. Sit back, relax, let's enjoy.
You can just scan and upload this, right?
This is Letecia Stauch,
Yeah, just scan it, seal it.
daughter testifying. Okay.
All rise for the jury, please. Thank you. May all be seated. Court will recall 20 CR 1358, People versus Letecia Stauch. Record should reflect the jury has returned to the court. When we took our break, we were in the midst of the examination of Ms. Hunt. That's where we will resume. Mr. Young.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Hunt. I want to jump forward a little bit on January 28th, 2020. But before I do that, I think we left off somewhere around 6 p.m. in the afternoon. At that point, had you known where your mother was at? And I'm going to fast forward to now 7:21 p.m., where you're texting your mother, someone is here. Do you remember that?
Yes.
What was going on at the house, and why did you say someone is here?
There were detectives at our front door.
And did you see them out front, or how did you know they were there?
Yeah, I saw them out front.
And again, I'm going to scroll down. Your mom says who, and then you go on. What do you say after that?
I don't know, people with badges.
I imagine that's how you knew they were detectives, right?
Correct.
And did you know the sheriff's office was investigating the disappearance of Dana?
Yes.
And so she responds, "Don't poke," and I think she corrects it if we scroll down and says, you say okay, and then she says open. How did you take that?
Don't open.
Did you open the door for the police?
No.
And I don't want to go through the whole text here, but did they ring the doorbell or knock on the door?
They knocked on the door.
And did they announce who they were?
I don't know.
Let's scroll down and see what you say. So now they're knocking. They're leaving, I think. Again, we can just keep scrolling down. She says, BTH, who is that? And how do you respond?
I responded saying, I don't know.
We can scroll down some more, please. Then you say their car is still here. And then what happens after that?
Someone called my phone, no caller ID, and left a voicemail.
So why are you doing a play-by-play of everything that's happening to your mom?
Because obviously she had told me not to answer the door, so I was just kind of updating her with what happened.
And if we can scroll down a little bit further, do you get a voicemail from this call?
Yes,
Says that I didn't answer, so I take it you didn't answer?
correct.
And you say it was a defective. Did you mean to say something else?
I meant to say detective.
You must text like me with your thumbs, maybe?
Yes.
Okay. We can keep scrolling down. So they left the voicemail. Do you remember what the voicemail was?
I just remember them saying like, "Hey Harley, it's detective. We want to talk to you."
Okay. And did you forward that voicemail on to your mother?
I did, yes.
We can scroll down so we can see that. Keep going down, please. All right, so we stop it here at January 28th at 7:32 p.m. Is that the voicemail that was left on your phone that you sent to your mother?
Yes.
And if we can scroll down to the next one. She says, why do they want to bombard you? You know what she meant by that, or what that is reference to?
Yeah, I guess like why are they showing up trying to ask questions?
We can continue to scroll down, please. What do you say in response to that?
I said, I don't know, how did they get my number?
How long were they out there? Do you remember? The police.
They were out there for a little while. It wasn't like a quick like here and go.
And so at 7:37 p.m., do you remember calling your mother and having a conversation with her?
Yes.
And do you remember about how long that conversation was?
No.
If the records indicate it was 10 minutes and 15 seconds, would that be about accurate?
Yes.
Well, what did you guys talk about? Do you remember?
I remember she just said like, don't open the door, like you're a minor. They can't talk to you because you're a minor.
And did you follow what your mom was saying?
Yes.
Did you keep an eye on them? Were you looking out the windows to see if they were still out there during this time period?
Yes.
And did you actually try to call your mom back on a couple occasions during this time period?
Probably, yeah.
Did she answer?
I don't remember.
Do you remember actually having a FaceTime conversation with her at 9:55 p.m. on January 28th?
No.
Does that sound like something you might do if the police are outside and you're wanting to figure out what to do?
Yes.
Okay. And so, what did you eventually do about 10 o'clock p.m. that night?
Yeah, so, sorry, now that I'm reading the messages, it's refreshing me, but she had called me, and told me to leave the house. She tried to get me to leave Lena there, and I told her I didn't want to, and I felt comfortable doing that, so she told me to bring Lena to one of her friend's house. And that if I left and the detectives were there, to not tell them where I was going.
So I take it was just you and Lena in the house when the police were outside?
Correct, yes.
And the police get there at 7:21 p.m., is that right, based on the text messaging?
Yes.
And at 10 o'clock, are they still there when you try to leave with Lena?
Yes.
Tell the jury about that. What happens?
So I opened the garage, and they just came out from the side right from the garage. And they were like, "Hey Harley, like where are you going?" And my mom told me to say I was going to like Starbucks or something. So just listened to what she said and told them that.
Did you cooperate with them?
Yes, they asked me questions and I answered it, and then I feel like they kept asking more questions, and I was just like, I don't want to talk.
And why didn't you want to talk?
Because at this point, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Everything's just so like up and down. I'm just so confused.
If we can fast forward to 10:03 p.m. in the text stream. It just maybe go up a little bit. All right, that's good. So, there in the book,
Yeah, it's not me.
You say as soon as I opened the garage, they stopped eating. Is that what you're talking about? They were out there when you opened the garage door?
Yes.
So does that help kind of refresh? They were out there from 7:21 until 10 p.m. at night?
Yes.
When you were leaving with Lena, did you know the police were outside?
No.
Do you think they had already left?
Yes.
If we can scroll down now, please. You say they were hiding out? Remember that?
Yes.
Can we keep scrolling down? And your mom says, wow. Remember that?
Yes.
And then you go on and say, yeah. And if we can scroll down, please. Why did you say, but I think I'm allowed to leave?
I just didn't want to do anything wrong, so I didn't know if we were allowed to leave the house or not, so.
If we can, your mom says, why wouldn't you be allowed to leave? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Can you scroll down, please? You say IDK, I don't know, right?
Yes.
Your mom says, I want my dogs and you. Remember that?
Yes.
You know what she was talking about there?
Just that she would like the dogs in me, I don't know.
Kind of speaks for herself.
Yeah.
All right. We just have a second. We're going to scroll down. Do you remember telling your mom during this text string, that I told them I'm not going anywhere or saying anything?
Yes.
And why did you tell your mom that?
Because that's what she told me to say.
You can go down just a little bit. Keep going. Keep going, please. You can find it where I just read on the... Yeah, I'll find it here. Okay, there it is. So at January 28th at 10:04 p.m., this is you telling your mom, I told them I'm not going anywhere or saying anything. And you said no. Say that.
Yes.
You remember how your mom responded? You scroll down.
She said, just keep saying that.
What did she say after that?
Tell me what that guy says.
Do you know who she was referring to when she said that?
The guy at the door.
If we can scroll down, please. One more, please. Now, at 10:05 p.m., your mom asked you, has any other family asked where I was? As like our family. That?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she essentially since about like 3:45 that afternoon.
Yes.
If we can scroll down, please. We can keep going down to as we're scrolling through this, were you still giving her a play-by-play as to what the police were doing in the house and things like that?
Yes.
At January 28th at 10:07 p.m., do you remember your mom saying, "I have to get an attorney fast"?
Yes.
And do you know what that was based on?
She kept saying that they're setting her up.
Was that a continuing theme,
Yes.
really, all the way till you go back to Myrtle Beach?
Yes.
And do you recall telling your mom that they're just taking pictures during this text string?
Yes.
And how did your mom respond to that? Do you see that?
She asked of what?
Were they taking pictures?
Yes, of the house.
And did you tell your mom what they were taking pictures of?
Yes.
We can scroll down to 10:11, please. We can go down one more. All right there. Well, let's go back up. I'm sorry. My computer's down. So this is where she says, "Why are we taking pictures of?" You say the entire house.
Yes.
All that.
Yes.
And then if we scroll down, you don't hear from her until 10:11 again, where she says, "What's Landon been doing?"
Yes.
Have you seen Landon up until this point?
No, but she's not here.
And then she asks you who's there at 10:11 that night. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And how did you respond to that?
So just me.
Now, was Lena still in the house at this point?
No.
What happened to Lena?
The detectives took her.
Do you know where she went?
To Albert.
We can scroll down, please. She says she's been set up at 10:11 and 31 seconds. Remember that?
Yes.
And then she says, just you and, is that supposed to be Albert?
Yes.
How did you respond to that?
I said no, it's just me.
Okay. Did she ever tell you what to say to the police officers when they were there? Do you remember?
Yes.
What did she tell you?
She just kept saying, like, don't say anything, like you're a minor and they shouldn't be asking you questions.
Did she ever ask you to call 911 or do you need to?
I don't remember.
We can- You see that in there yet, Miss
Yes.
Hunt?
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is said there and what time is it?
She kept asking why are there detectives there with you, an underage minor. I was at 10, 12, and I said, I don't know, but I'm asking if I can leave. And she said, tell them you're uncomfortable with these men at 10, 13.
We're going to scroll down to 10:13. And did you ever tell them that?
I just said, I don't feel comfortable asking, like, answering questions.
Did they stop asking you questions?
Yes.
And was there a female officer there?
Yes.
Do you remember having conversations with her not related to this in the kitchen?
Yes.
That kind of thing? Okay. Please. Now, at 10:13:56, Your mother says if you need, if not, you need to call 911 and tell them there are you stay there. Remember that?
Yes.
Did you ever call 911?
No,
Why didn't you call 911?
because it didn't seem needed.
Cops are already there, right?
Right.
I'm going to fast forward to 10:23 p.m. Do you remember having a FaceTime conversation with your mom?
Yes.
We can blank that out. Thanks. And how long was that conversation?
I don't know how long it was, but I know generally what was said.
What was said?
She told me to go meet her at one of the hotels and to just like be careful leaving.
What was that all about? You know, why did she tell you to meet her at one of the hotels?
We were gonna stay there that night.
Is this the first time the entire day where she told you she conversation with your mom?
I listened to what she said and then I went to where she was.
And did you go by yourself?
Yes.
Did you take the Jetta?
Yes.
While you're driving to go wherever you're going, did you attempt to call her a few times?
Yes.
And did she answer?
No.
Where was this hotel you were going to, and how close was it to where you work?
It was right next to where I worked at.
So close to the Massage MD?
Yes.
Off of Powers?
Yes.
Did she say why you're staying in a hotel room that night?
She said that she didn't want to be in the house with Albert and Landon and his family.
Why did she need you to leave the house? Did she tell you?
She didn't want me there with them.
Yeah. And so, did you pack a bag?
I assume so.
So tell us about it. And why were you trying to call your mom on the way to go to this hotel?
Because I wanted to make sure that she was there. It's because we hadn't spoken really after that. And then I remember I got there and I was waiting for a while because I didn't know where she was.
When you say there, where are you talking about?
The hotel.
Do you remember what hotel it was?
It's probably like a Marriott or Hilton or IHG or something.
Several hotels in that area?
Yeah.
Did you eventually see your mom at this hotel?
Yes.
You remember about how long it took her to get there and what time it was, that kind of thing?
It was quite a while. I remember waiting for a long time.
Was it in the morning hours in the 29th, or was it still the 28th?
I don't know. It was late though.
It seemed like you were sitting in your car a long time in the parking lot waiting for her.
Yes.
What vehicle was she driving when she eventually showed up?
Her Volkswagen.
A Tiguan?
Yes.
When's the last time you saw that Tiguan?
It was that night.
How about prior to that night? Did you see it on the 28th at all?
I saw it prior. I don't know the exact date though.
Do you know what happened to the rental car?
No.
So you just go to this hotel, your mom shows up in the Tiguan. When she left that day, was she in the rental car? You know.
I don't know. I just know that when I met her at the hotel, she was in her Tiguan.
So what happens when she eventually shows up at the hotel in her Tiguan?
So she shows up and she's like, we just need to go home. She leaves her car there and then we drive back to the house in my car.
Did she tell you why she's leaving her car at the hotel?
No, she was just like, we can ride together.
Did you ever get out of your car to go to her car and look and see if there's anything in it, that kind of thing?
No.
Did you ever get close enough to her car to smell anything?
No.
Did you ever ask her, what are you doing, Mom? Why are you leaving your car here if we're going to go home?
No. She just kept saying, like, she was just kept being like paranoid, I guess you can say.
Tell you why she was being paranoid?
There's a couple of different stories, yeah. I was told that they brought Albert and her in different rooms and tried to say, like, the other person did this to see how they would react. And that's why she felt like she was being set up.
Do you even know if she ever went to the police station to be interviewed at this point? No, the next day is when she went to the police station to be interviewed. If you don't know it, that's fine.
I don't know.
At least she's telling you that her and Al are at the police station. They separate us and they're trying to play each other against us. Is that what she's saying?
Yes.
Did you guys go straight home from there?
Yes.
If the phone records indicate that you were still trying to FaceTime with your mom at 11:26 and 11:31 p.m. on the 28th, would that mean that you hadn't seen your mom yet?
Yes.
And so what happens when you get home?
I remember going home. I stay in my bedroom.
She don't remember. She don't remember.
Yeah.
Who was there when you got home? Do you know?
Pretty sure Albert and his family and everybody was there.
Was Landon there?
Yes.
She don't remember.
And if you looked at your text messages, People's Exhibit 705 that's in front of you, do you see a string of text messages on January 29th, 2000 from 1:36 a.m. to about 1:40 a.m. in there?
Yes.
Is your mom in the house when these text messages are going on?
Yes.
Is she upstairs and you're downstairs, or what's going on?
Yeah, she's upstairs. And downstairs.
And what is she asking you about?
I guess the police had like gone through her clothes and everything, and there's stuff everywhere. And asking me if my room was the same way.
Do you see in People's Exhibit 705 whether or not she asked you what the downstairs looks like?
Yes.
Am I saying 705? I meant to say 205.
That's 705.
I apologize, Your Honor. It's Exhibit 205. Does this text messaging back and forth go on for an hour or so that morning?
Yes, while we were at home.
Does it end roughly around 2 in the morning?
Yes.
So I'm assuming you eventually went to sleep, right?
Yes.
Do you remember about what time you got up?
I don't think she remember.
Around 8.
Did you have to work that day?
Yes, I did.
What time did you have to be at work?
8:30.
So January 29th, 2020, you have to go to work. Did you take anyone with you when you left to go to work from the house?
Yes, I took my mom with me.
And why did you take your mom with you?
Because she said that she was going to pick up her car since it was right by where I worked.
Okay. Did you ever ask again, why did we leave it there anyway?
No.
Did you make any stops on the way to go pick up the Tiguan?
No.
You didn't go to the airport that day?
Oh, yes, we did. Sorry.
Well, tell us about that. What happened? Why'd you go to the airport? What happened?
I remember we were driving there and she told me don't speed. I think someone was following us. and she had to turn in the keys for the rental car.
Did she tell you where the rental car was at?
No, I think it was at the airport.
So did she tell you why she kept the keys if the rental car was already at the airport?
No.
So can you describe to the jury what you remember seeing your mom do and how she returned these things?
I don't remember. I just remember being in the car when she returned them.
Did she go inside the airport?
I don't remember if she went in or left the keys in the car.
Or did you see the rental car when you went to the airport?
If she left the keys in them, then yes.
Well, how long were you there? Was this something that happened very quickly, or did it take some time?
Yes, it's quick.
You didn't see her talk to anyone from Avis, or did you?
No.
So what happens after she gets done with the keys?
We drive to my work.
Did she get back in your car then?
Yes.
Did you park your car anywhere, or are you still just kind of in the drive-through at the airport?
Yeah, I was just sitting there waiting.
And so what you talk about as you're going to take her to your car, or her car, excuse me.
She just told me not to speed because somebody was following us, and when we got to my work, she sat in my car for a little while, and I went inside to work.
How close was it to the hotel where the Tiguan was at, your work?
It was close. Across the street.
Did she tell you what her game plan was? I mean, as she sat in your car?
No, she just said that she needed a minute, and she sat in the car, and then she came inside to give me my keys and left.
Did you see her looking around the parking lot or looking to see anything?
No.
Earlier you alluded to that she kept telling you not to speed. Did you say that she thought she was being followed or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Did she tell you who she thought was following her?
The police.
Do you know where she was going after she got the Tiguan?
No.
What time were you supposed to get off of work that day? Do you remember?
I was supposed to get off later than I did, I'm pretty sure.
Did something cause you to leave work early?
Yes, I got a call that she was at the hospital.
Do you remember who called you?
I think one of her sisters.
So what did you do when you got a call from one of her sisters saying that your mom was at the hospital?
I asked if I could leave to go pick her up.
And did you do that?
Yes.
Did you pick anyone else up or ask anyone to go with you to pick up your mom?
Yes, eventually I did.
And who was that? Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
Is that Janine Sanchez?
Yes.
And is that someone you work with?
Yes.
Is that someone who was a friend of yours back then?
Yes.
Why'd you ask her to go with you?
I remember I tried to go there at first, and they wouldn't let me go in because I was a minor. And then I remember just before that day, she was like, if you need me anything, I'll come with you for anything that you need. So
where did you try to go first and they wouldn't let you in because you're a minor?
right,
Where was that?
the hospital.
Do you remember what hospital it was?
No.
Was it one close to downtown here?
Yes.
Memorial Hospital sound familiar?
Yes.
So you went to the hospital, then did you have to go somewhere to pick Janine up?
Yes.
Where did you go to pick her up?
I believe I picked her up at her house.
Did you go back to the hospital after you picked up Janine?
Yes.
And what happened when you got back to the hospital?
We picked her up from a Taco Bell.
How did that happen? How did you get from the hospital to Taco Bell?
I got a call. She said she was riding with some random person and to pick her up at the Taco Bell by the hospital.
Who called you and who said that?
My mom.
And so, did you ask her why? Why we're going to Taco Bell? I thought you were at the hospital type thing.
Right. Pretty sure I was told like they didn't want her to leave at first. So
And how did you respond to her when she said, "I got a ride with some stranger to Taco Bell"?
it was weird. I was like, be careful.
So, did you and Janine then go to this Taco Bell?
Yes.
And was the Taco Bell here in the downtown area?
Yes.
Are you familiar with Platt and Wasatch?
I know Platt.
Was the Taco Bell close to Platt?
Yeah.
Close to downtown?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so what happens when you get to the Taco Bell?
I'm driving. Janine is in the passenger seat, and I'm on the back seat.
Does your mom say anything to you as to what's going on and why you picked her up at the Taco Bell versus the hospital?
Yeah, she was just rambling a bunch of things.
Remember what those things were?
No, it was just, I remember being like, just a lot. Just a bunch of random stuff.
Did she have her phone with her?
Yes.
Did she ask to use anyone's phone?
Yes.
Whose phone did she ask to use?
She had my phone.
And how long did she have your phone after that?
At least until we got home.
Did she tell you that the police had taken her phone?
Yes.
Let me approach the witness, Your Honor.
Mayor.
I'm going to hand you People's Exhibit 206. Have you had a chance to look at that last night?
Yes.
You know what People's Exhibit 206 is?
Yes.
What is it?
Yes. It's messages between my phone and Albert's phone.
And does it cover this time frame that we're talking about here after you pick up your mom from the Taco Bell?
Yes.
In particular, January 27th, 2020 at 7:16 p.m. to January 30th, 2020 at 10:41 a.m. Is that when it starts and ends?
Yes.
And do you recognize those messages?
Awesome.
Recognize the one at the top.
Yes.
And do you see the ones that were used after you picked up your mom from the Taco Bell that went to Al Stauch?
Yes.
Are those messages that your mom used while she had your phone?
Yes.
Overruled.
And do they actually reflect your messages and what your mom was doing when she had your phone on those dates?
Yes.
Move to admit People's Exhibit 206.
Mr. Tellini? If sufficient foundation has been laid, she's stated that she's familiar with her phone number, she's familiar with who she gave the phone to. If it goes to weight, not admissibility, the objection's overruled.
In addition, Your Honor, this exhibit was shown to Albert Stauch, and he authenticated his messages on there.
He did.
Thank
Yes. Go ahead.
you. So, where did you go after you left the Taco Bell with your mother and Janine Sanchez?
To Janine's house.
Did you make any stops, or did you go anywhere before you went to Janine's house?
I remember getting the dogs at some point.
Do you ever remember going to a parking garage?
Yes.
What was that all about, and who told you to go to a parking garage?
My mom told me, and she was looking to see if her car was still there.
Do you know where this parking garage was at?
Somewhere downtown.
And describe to the jury what you did as you went to this parking garage.
We just drove around, and she was just seeing her car was still there, and we left.
What did she tell you happened to her car, and why was she looking if she told you that?
I think she was worried that the police took her car.
When you picked her up at Taco Bell, did you ask her where her car was?
I think she had mentioned it to me that it was there.
At the parking garage?
Yes.
Was it your understanding what this parking garage was associated with?
Just, I thought it was associated with the hospital.
Okay. Was it close to the hospital, though?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you find the car in this parking garage?
I think so.
She don't remember.
Did you see some deputy sheriffs in the parking garage around the car when you drove by it?
remember.
Okay. All right.
I don't remember.
So then you said you go to Janine's house. Why did you go to Janine's house?
I was just told that we couldn't stay at our house.
And were you planning on staying there prior to picking up your mom?
Yes, remember her telling me, like, because I remember talking to her in conversation saying, like, I don't know if we can stay at our house. And she was like, well, if you ever need to stay with me, then you can.
And so prior to picking up your mom, you already made arrangements to stay at Janine Sanchez's house, right?
Yes.
How about your mom? Was it planned for her to stay there as well?
I don't remember.
Well, did she stay there?
Yes.
Do you remember her text messaging Janine while you're in the car?
Yes.
How do you know that?
From these messages.
And so that's not you texting Janine. What does the text message say?
These aren't between me and Janine.
Well, do you remember your mom texting Janine, is it okay if I stay here, or words to that effect?
Yes.
And did she eventually stay at Janine Sanchez's house with you?
Yes.
Were you there the entire night once you got there after the Taco Bell?
Yes.
I'm going to flash forward to January 30th of 2000. Do you remember, well, I'll ask you, did you text Massage Envy saying you're going to resign?
Yes, I remember my mom wrote the email for me.
Was it an email or a text? Do you remember?
A text message.
And if the records indicate that was at 4:30 a.m., would that sound accurate?
Yes. I don't remember being up that late, but
Did you text that or did your mom text that? Do you know?
I don't remember.
So, what happens when you get up? What do you do the next day?
I remember getting up. We took the dogs out, and I think that's the day that we drove to like Marshall's.
Now, as you're driving to Marshall's, who was in the car?
Me and my mom.
Did your mom ever say anything about the police following you at that point?
No.
Did she say anything about go the speed limit, don't break the law, that kind of thing?
No.
Did you know that the police were following you?
Eventually.
We're going to talk about what happens at the Marshalls. But
Okay.
up until the point that happens, did you know that they were following you on the road? In other words, any discussion, hey, there's a car behind us, that car's been behind us for a while.
No.
Was your mom ever looking around to see if anyone was following?
No.
Nothing unusual about that trip then. So tell us what happens when you get to the Marshalls.
Get to the Marshalls, go inside to get like clothes or whatever we're looking for. And then I'm at the cash register, and that's when like the police come in.
What did the police do when they came in?
They took my phone, and as we were walking out, they put me in handcuffs.
What did that make you feel? Was your mom in the store with you when this happened?
No.
What was your mom doing when all this was happening? You
She
remember?
walked outside
Did she go out before or after you?
before.
And did you see her when you came out?
Yes.
What was going on with her?
She was also with the police.
Was she in handcuffs as well?
Yes.
Did she say anything to you that you remember?
Yes.
What did she say?
To not say anything.
And how did she say that?
She was yelling it.
Were you hysterical at that point?
Yes.
Was she screaming other things?
Yeah, I remember her saying other stuff. She was just like, that's my daughter. Don't do anything. Stuff like that.
How long did all this take place?
25 minutes.
It seemed like a long time.
Yeah.
Did they eventually take the handcuffs off?
Yes.
Same thing with your mother?
Yes.
Did they take your car and your phone?
Yes.
Did you recognize your phone when you saw it again?
Yes.
Probably wondering what I got in my hand here, huh? If I'm your coach number, you're going to hand me what's marked as Exhibit 203. Okay?
Okay.
In 203, it's obvious that there's a cell phone in plastic there. Do you recognize that cell phone?
Yes.
Just take it out and look at it. And whose cell phone is that?
This is mine.
And is it in the same general condition as was when the police took it from you on January 30th, 2020 at the Marshalls?
Yes.
Move to admit People's Exhibit 203.
Mr. Exhibit 203 will be admitted.
So, what was the game plan after they took your car and your phone? What were you and your mom going to do?
Yeah, we were supposed to meet my family. And at that point, we didn't have a phone to contact them to let them know where we were. So we walked down to a store that was in that plaza to use the phone to call them.
Now, prior to all this happening at Marshall's, did you know that you had family members flying in?
Yes.
And did you know what family members were coming?
Yes.
And what family members were coming?
It was my grandma, my uncle, and my aunt.
And what are their names?
Deborah, Dakota, and Brenda.
Is it Deborah Locklear?
Yes.
And who's Deborah Locklear?
My grandma.
And Dakota Lowry?
Yes.
Who's Dakota Lowry?
My uncle.
And Brenda, is it pronounced awkward?
Acquired.
What is it?
Acquired.
Okay, acquired. I'm sorry. And who's Brenda acquired?
My aunt.
And so did they eventually come and pick you up there?
Yes.
Where did you go after you were picked up at the Marshalls?
We went to the hotel we were staying in.
And do you remember the name of that hotel?
It was an extended stay.
Was it Extended Stay America?
Yes.
And you probably don't know the address, but was it up north area?
Yes.
Is 5855 Corporate Drive ring a bell at all?
No, I didn't know the address.
So what did you do when you got to the extended stay?
We got there, we were talking with my family, and then after then we went to Walmart.
And why did you go to Walmart?
They were just saying, like, you guys need to get some clothes because we didn't have any at that point.
I'm assuming you got some clothes at Walmart?
Yes.
Where'd you go from there?
Back to the hotel.
You guys remember where you ate that night?
No.
So once you get back to the hotel, do you remember how many rooms you had?
2.
Who was staying in which room?
It was back and forth, so I'm pretty sure my grandma and my aunt stayed in one room, and then it was me, my mom, and my uncle.
So you and your mom and Dakota?
Yes.
Did you guys talk about what you were going to do the next day or what the plan was? Your family's out here, you got 2 hotel rooms. What was the plan? You know?
Yeah, so they were just there, like supporting us, of course, because of everything that happened. And the next day we were supposed to go and get our belongings from the house.
And how are you going to go about getting that?
They rented a van.
And who's they?
My aunt.
What kind of car did they have, or did they have a car? I'm assuming when they picked you up at the Marshalls.
Yes, it was a sedan.
You remember what kind of make and model it was?
Nissan.
Sorry?
Nissan.
Ultima? Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
And so, did you go the next morning to get a van?
Yes, we all went to get the van.
And who rented this van?
My aunt.
Would that be Brenda?
Brenda, yes.
And so, where did you go after you rented the van, or after Brenda rented the van?
After we got the van, that's when we went to the house.
Did you take the Nissan Altima as well?
Yes.
Who?
I'm pretty sure it was in the car.
Do you remember who was driving the car that you were in?
No.
It's okay. If you don't remember, that's fine. So what happens when you get to 666?
I don't remember.
There are police there. And we went in to go get our stuff. Albert's family was there. He was there. Just like everyone was there. And as we got our stuff, the police had to look through everything that we brought.
What kind of stuff were you getting?
Mainly just like clothes.
Did you go to your room to get your clothes, or what items did you get at? Do you remember?
Yes, I went to my room to get my clothes.
Were there suitcases?
Yeah, we were filling like tupperware bins or suitcases or like bags, kind of anything.
Do you remember seeing a big, large, olive green suitcase that had wheels? And did you remember seeing that when you were moving things out of the house that day?
No.
Do you know what suitcase I'm talking about?
Yes.
And who did that suitcase belong to? Do you remember?
Albert.
And is it a suitcase that you saw in the past when you were moving from Alaska and things like that?
Yes.
Were the police checking every suitcase that came out of that house?
Yes, they were checking anything we took out. If it was any books, they had to go through the pages. We couldn't really take any technology.
And so how long did this take to get things out of the house and put in there?
They were trying to do it quick. Maybe like an hour.
What happens when you get your things and the van is loaded up? Where do you go from there?
We were supposed to drive back to the hotel, but as we're leaving, someone saw a reporter and wanted to talk to them.
Whose idea was it to talk to the reporter? Do you remember?
My mom's.
Did anyone try to talk her out of it?
Yes.
Who?
I just remember my family saying like that's probably a good idea.
Was your mom pretty determined to talk to this reporter?
She had got out the car, so I don't remember what she had said then. I remember like we had left that area where we were at and went down like a back street at the back of the neighborhood to talk to them.
So you went somewhere else so that your mom could do this interview with the reporter?
Yes.
You still had the Nissan and you still had the rental van?
Yes.
So talk about that interview. What were you doing when your mom was being interviewed by, was it KKTV?
Yes.
What were you doing?
I was just waiting in the car.
Was there a point in time in the interview where your mom asked you to come out?
Yes.
And did you do that?
Yes.
Did you get on camera and answer questions?
Yes.
Why did you answer the questions the way you did on KKTV?
Because that's how she told me to.
Were you doing what your mom told you to do during that time period?
Yes.
And do you recall what those questions were?
I know they asked me my name. I don't remember what they asked me after that.
You remember talking about the hike at Garden of the Gods and whether or not you saw Gannon after this hike and things like that?
Yes.
And is that what you're talking about? You're just going along with what your mom wanted you to say?
Yeah, when she came to the car, she was like, come on, let's go do this interview. I didn't want to do the interview. And I was like, I don't know what I'm like, supposed to say because I was told that we weren't allowed to talk about the fire. So I was like, am I allowed to talk about the fire? So, yeah.
And you said you saw him, right? After the hike.
Yes.
And you did see him, as you testified earlier. That's when he was in the bedroom and you got home from work late at night. And you didn't know if he was asleep or awake, but you
Yes.
saw him in bed.
Yes.
What did you do after this interview?
We left and went to the hotel.
Both cars?
Yes.
One car?
Yes.
What happens when you get back to the hotel?
We get back. I remember my mom saying that she needed to leave because she needed to get dog food.
And did she leave?
Yes.
Do you recall what car she took?
The rental car.
Nissan Altima?
Yes.
And how long was she gone?
She was gone a while.
2.5 hours?
Yeah,
Did it seem like it was that long, 2.5 hours?
it was a long time, yes.
Did she tell you where she was going to this pet store, what location it was, and things like that?
No, I remember when she came back, I was like, what took so long? And she was like, I didn't use the GPS. So I got lost.
What was the game plan for the next day? You know what was going to happen the next day?
That's the day that we left.
And so just January 31st is when you go and get the items out of the house, the KKTV interview, you go back to the hotel. She's gone for quite a while, comes back. The next morning, what was the game plan?
Next morning, I remember that we were going to leave, and my aunt said that she didn't want to pay for the van while we were gone, and just like insurance purposes, so we had to go and get a new one.
And when you say we, who are you talking about?
But they just had to go get a new one out.
Do you recall who went and got a new van?
I don't remember if they went with them or not.
Did eventually your mom show up in a different van and at the hotel?
Yes.
Would that be in the morning of February 1st, 2020?
Yes.
Did you have any idea what was going to happen when she came back in a new van and on February 1st, 2020?
I just knew that we were leaving. I didn't know where we were going.
Did you ask your mom where we're going?
Yeah, the destination changed multiple times.
Tell us about that.
We were leaving. I remember she just kept saying, like, where do you want to live? And I was just confused. And originally it was going to be Texas, and then it was Florida, and then Myrtle Beach. It just kept changing.
When your mom came in this new van, did you see what was in the back of it?
No.
Did you ask about where our stuff is? Because assuming all your bags and things were in the first van that turned up. Is it Acquired?
Acquired.
I'm sure there were that many. They were in there when you moved them. Do you know how they got from one van to another, or if they even got transferred?
Yes, my mom and my uncle moved them.
How do you know that?
I just remember that morning it was cold outside, and I was in the hotel, and they had moved stuff.
So was this a pretty quick deal? I mean, did your mom literally come back, pick you up, and then you hit the road? Is that what happens?
I remember that they were on a time crunch because my family had to get back to their flight in Denver.
And so, did your family go one direction? And I don't know, is it same direct, but you and your mom went somewhere else?
Yes.
Can I push Whitney, Sean?
Man.
People's exhibits 201 and 202.
Okay.
Do you recognize those exhibits?
Yes.
What is People's Exhibit 202?
It is the back of the van.
Is that a picture of the van that your mom rented back on February 1st, 2020, and picked you up from the hotel?
Yes.
And 204? Is it 204? 202 and 203. Is that right?
1 and 202.
God, I'm not even close. So 201 is a picture of the van. What is 202?
A picture of the back of the van.
Is that what the back of the van looked like as far as you know?
Yes.
Was there a partition between the driver's seat and the back of the cargo area?
What do you mean?
You see like a metal grate between the cargo area and the driving area of that van?
Yes.
Is that what that's like from inside?
Yes.
Move for the missions 201 and 202.
Exhibits 201 and 202 will be admitted.
Request to publish.
You may go ahead.
So here we have People's Exhibit 201. Do you see that on the TV screen behind you?
Yes.
Is that the van then you drove off to with your mom on February 1st, 2020?
Yes.
And people exhibit 202? We're seeing people's exhibit 202.
It is a picture of the back of the van.
Did you ever go back in this back area during the entire time you had this van?
I did not know.
Why not?
Because everything that I needed was right by my seat in the front of the van.
Want to go back there?
I remember like wanting more clothes.
So why didn't you go back and get some clothes?
Just because whenever we stopped, it was like quick. Like, whenever we stopped at hotels and stuff, so, no point.
Well, did you ever ask your mom, why can't I go back there and get some clothes?
No.
Did your dogs ever go back there?
No.
Did you have your dogs with you? I guess I should ask first.
Yes, we did.
Can we go to People's Exhibit 303 that's already been admitted? I'm going to show you a picture that's already in evidence. It's People's Exhibit 303 in just a second. Okay, 303 is up on the TV screen now. Do you recognize this photograph? It has a placard 14, what appears to be a rubber dog bone.
Yes.
Do you recognize that dog bone?
Yes.
And how do you recognize it?
Because we had all like the dog's toys up front and their food and everything. They were playing with it on the track.
Did you leave that in the van after you turned it in?
I didn't know until yesterday.
How sure are you that that's the dog bone that you had with your dogs in that van?
It looks familiar, like it, because like they were puppies, so we had like the little bones. So
We can take that down. So
It did look like a puppy bone.
as you're leaving,
Oh yeah, I'm checking food.
ask your mom where you're going. What's the game plan?
yeah, so I did. That's when she was asking me like, where do you want to live? And the destination just kept like changing. And she was just talking about like starting a new life.
What about Albert and Lena? Did you ever talk about leaving them?
No, she just kept saying that, you know, Albert went against her and doesn't believe her. So she wanted to leave.
And did something like that happen in the past where you and your mom left Albert and the kids on the road somewhere leaving?
Yes.
Tell the jury about that.
There were multiple times that she would just get like angry or frustrated and ask me to like pack up all my clothes and we'd get in the car. One time specifically from Colorado, we drove all the way through Kansas, and then she would always like be like, okay, we just need to go home, because her and Albert would talk it out and then we'd come home.
Did you think that was going to happen on this trip?
Yes.
Did that happen on this trip?
No.
At what point did you realize that was not going to happen on this trip?
Once we were close to Myrtle Beach.
So all the way across country up to Myrtle Beach, you're thinking, we're going to go back to Colorado, everything's going to be fine, we're going to get back together?
Yes.
Do you remember when this trip to Kansas happened, that you ended up turning around and going back?
It was during the time that we lived in Colorado. I don't know the exact month.
Sometime during 2019?
Yes.
Do you remember stopping at a Love's truck stop in Pueblo, Colorado to get gas?
Yes.
Do you remember about what time it was?
No.
Do you remember stopping at a Walmart in Trinidad on your way in the budget van?
Yes.
Did you know why you stopped at the Walmart in Trinidad?
To get a phone.
And did you guys get a phone?
Yes.
Who went in and got the phone?
My mom.
Up to this point, as she's driving, Was she obeying the laws? Stopping at stop lights, stopping at stop signs, that kind of thing as she's driving?
Yes.
Did she know where she was going? Did she ever tell you, I'm lost, I don't know what we're doing?
No.
Where did you think you were going as you left Walmart in Trinidad?
Texas.
Why Texas?
I remember saying like Texas is a good place to live.
Up until this point, did you notice anything unusual in that?
No. No. No, she was on the phone a lot talking to people about everything.
What was she talking about?
I remember one conversation was about a video that was going to be surfaced. She said it was going to prove her innocence. Just going over like everything that happened.
Who was your mom concerned about during these phone conversations?
Sustained. I think you can ask her what she said.
Sure. During these phone conversations, did you hear your mother talk?
Did I what? I'm sorry.
Hear your mother talking on the phone to someone on the other side?
Yes.
Did you hear what she was saying?
Yes.
Who was she talking about with regards to what's going on with Dan being missing and things like that?
Her sister.
Was she talking about her sister, or was she talking to her sister about herself?
Talking to her sister about herself.
And what were the kind of things she was saying?
She just kept saying that she was set up. That's because I was in home. Just things along that line.
Now, as you're sitting in that van listening to these conversations, did you ever ask your mom, what are we doing? Why are we leaving? Dan's missing. Why aren't we out looking for him? That kind of stuff?
No, I didn't really question her a lot.
Why didn't you question your mom?
I would be told that, like I'm being disrespectful or talking back.
And what would happen if you were being disrespectful or talking back to your mom?
Sometimes she would like backhand me
Where would she backhand you at?
to the face.
Is that why you just didn't say anything and you sat in the van and went wherever she was driving?
Yes.
Overruled.
You eventually go to Amarillo, Texas.
Yes.
And do you recall staying the night in Amarillo, Texas?
Yes.
And do you remember what hotel you stayed at in Amarillo, Texas?
No.
Did you stay at a Candlewood Suites?
Sounds familiar.
And do you remember watching videos of you and the dogs walking into Candlewood Suites in Amarillo, Texas?
Yes.
You know, we can take a break now and get into the videos, or I can keep going whatever you.
Yeah, they taking a break right now. I know how that young lady feel. You know, your mom in the courtroom, and you have to avoid looking at your mother. But you already know how your mother is. She's tired. She exhausted.
Yes, Your Honor, thanks.
And look at the mom trying to get her to look at her. Look at her.
You know, I believe there's a stipulation to the admission of People's Exhibit 316,
She exhausted.
321, 317,
Poor girl.
318, 320, and 323. And that's the order we're going to play them. That's why I went out.
I was going to say, let's
All right, we'll go 316 through 318,
316 through 318,
320, 320, and 3.
and do you agree? I do. All right, exhibits 316 through 318, 320, 3. 321 and 323 will be admitted.
Thank you, Judge. And before we play those, Ms. Hunt, did you hear your mom making these reservations as you were driving, particularly the one in Amarillo?
You need to get back on the mic.
Remember about how close in time to when you actually checked in?
What are you saying?
It was close in time, yeah.
And did she make the reservations for one person or two people with two dogs?
I can't hear him.
For one person.
And do we see that in the video that you'll walk through the lobby first with two dogs? She later comes in and goes to the counter and registers?
Yes.
With that, we would play People's Exhibit 316.
Right.
Before we hit play, is that you with the dogs right there that we see in the still image?
Yes.
Go ahead and hit play, please. It looked like it said 748 or 1948 military. You remember being about that time when you checked into the hotel?
Yes.
We can now play People's Exhibit 321. Can we? Yeah, we'll just let it play.
Who them two guys are? The mom said two guys came in there.
At 747. Is that a continuation of you walking through the lobby? Going back
Can't
to the
hear.
Yes.
It speaks for itself, but is that what happens here?
Yes.
And where are we gonna go? Why'd you go to the elevators? Do you know?
I just know, like, she didn't want to pay for it, so we just went separate.
And was that routine throughout this trip? Would you do that every night you stayed somewhere?
Yes.
We can play 317 now. Is that your mom there we see at the counter?
Yes.
She got that suitcase. The mama.
Video stopped and it looked like the time was 7:47 p.m. Did you see that on the counter?
Yes.
You know where you're at as your mom's at the counter?
By the elevators.
You can go ahead and play People's Exhibit 318.
Who is that? Where?
Now, we haven't seen any bags in either of your hands. Did you guys get bags out of the van or change clothes, or what was the plan of that?
No, it was always just like a in and out thing when we would stop at hotels.
We can go to 320 now. Okay, 320 has been played. It looked like it was 750 when that stopped. Is that right?
Yes.
So we can go to 323 now.
Oh, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Saw the same elevator you did.
Yes.
Do you remember where you met up in that hotel that night?
No, I don't know if we knew the room beforehand or how we arranged that.
She protecting her mama, y'all.
Do you leave the hotel at all to go eat dinner or do anything like that? Do you know?
No.
How did you eat that night? Do you remember?
We would order it to the room.
Room service? What'd you do?
No, Grubhub.
During the entire trip, did you ever stop anywhere and eat at a restaurant, a sit-down place?
No.
What kind of places, where would you eat during this trip?
Places with like a drive-through.
And would both of you go in to the drive-through, or did you drive the van to the drive-through?
I remember one time me going inside to get our food.
Did you ever stay in the van by yourself?
No.
You know why?
No.
Do you remember when you checked out of that particular hotel room?
The next day.
On February 2nd, 2020? Do you remember about what time of day it was when you left?
Around like 9 or 10. Checkout's at like 11. So.
Okay. And so when you wake up the next morning, do you have an idea where you're going?
No, just back on the road.
Was the plan still going to Texas, moving to Texas?
I think at that point it was we were just going somewhere in Florida.
Now, the night you stayed in Amarillo, Texas, did you and your mom sleep in the same bed?
I know there were times where we did. I don't remember which hotel.
Were there times where you had your own bed?
I don't remember. I remember like one specifically when we did have the same bed.
Well, the night of February 1st into February 2nd, did your mom ever leave the room by herself?
No, not to my knowledge.
February 2nd, do you remember driving all the way to Decatur, Texas on that night?
Yes.
And do you remember staying at Candlewood Suites in Decatur, Texas?
Yes.
Did your mom do the same thing? Would she call in advance, make a reservation? Would you go in with the dogs first? She comes in later.
Yes.
As she's making these reservations, do you recall her using any kind of corporate rate or saying that she was with a corporation, things like that?
Yes.
What would she say?
I believe it's called Ford Motors.
Where did that come from? Do you know?
My aunt.
So your mom knew that she can get a cheaper rate by saying Ford, or do you know?
Yes.
Based on where your aunt worked?
I believe it was her husband.
Do you remember your mom ever leaving the hotel room when you were in Decatur, Texas on February 2nd, 2020?
No.
If she would have left the hotel room, would you have known it?
No, I was like, yes.
Obviously, you're asleep You don't, right?
Right.
So February 3rd, 2020, do you remember checking out and leaving Decatur, Texas?
Yes.
Would it be about the same time you left the hotel in Amarillo?
Yes.
Do you remember driving all the way to Pensacola, Florida?
Yes.
Long drive, right?
Yes.
Uh, when you get close to Pensacola, do you remember your mom making the reservations at a hotel room?
Yes.
And do you remember what hotel room it was?
Not the name, no.
Was it the Candlewood Suites?
Probably.
Same process. She's with the Ford Motor Company, corporate discount, one person. Would you walk in first? She walks in later.
Yes.
Remember that happening?
Yes.
At this point, I'd like to publish People's Exhibit 181, which is already in evidence. So People's Exhibit 181 is up on the TV screen. You see that?
Yes.
Recognize any signatures on that document?
Yes. My mom's.
Do you remember staying at that Green Suites in Florida on the night of February 4th between early morning
Yes.
hours?
Yes.
Going to bed after.
Yes.
How many beds did you have in that?
One.
Was that a queen size bed?
No, I think it was a king.
This document says it's a queen size bed.
Yes.
Did you guys eat at the hotel that night, or do you remember? Did you stop on the road somewhere and do one of these drive-throughs you were talking about? Pick up
Yes.
some quick food. So what happened?
Just kidding.
Now, on People's Exhibit 181, it says that the car you're driving is a Nissan.
Right.
You see the Ford Motor Company at the top of the page there. That old list.
Oh, yes.
Is that consistent with what you've been talking about? How she would use corporate reductions to stay in these hotel rooms?
Yes.
So, after midnight on February 4th, 2020, did your mom ever leave that room?
Not that I know of, no.
Were you sleeping the entire time, or were you awake during times that night? And we're talking 12:30 in the morning on.
I was asleep.
Earlier, you indicated you're kind of a hard sleeper. Would you know if your mom left that room or not?
No.
How was your mom acting as you checked into this hotel room?
She was acting normal.
Up until this point, had you ever gone to the back of that van?
No.
At any of the stops up to this point, had you gotten any changed clothes or gotten any suitcases out of it?
No.
At any point during this trip to Pensacola, did you smell anything in the back of that?
No.
Do you know why I'm asking you if you smelled anything in the back of that van?
Yes.
Why?
Because Gannon was back there.
How do you know Gannon was back there?
Because you guys told me that there's evidence that he was back there.
Did you later learn that Gannon's body was found in Pensacola, Florida on
Yes.
March 17th,
Yes.
2020? How did you learn that?
When they arrested my mom and the FBI like came to the house and told me.
So what happens when you wake up? Morning hours of February 4th. What's going on in the week? What's that when you checked out?
Yeah, it was just like all the other days we just check out. Afterwards we go grab breakfast and then we go to Orlando.
Why are you going to Orlando?
She was planning that that's where we could stay. I remember her like calling apartment places to like see if we could there.
As far as you're concerned, is that where you're going to be living?
Yes.
Into this trip?
Yes.
Miss Son, I want to ask you a direct question, okay?
Okay.
Did you help your mother throw that suitcase over a bridge in Pensacola, Florida
No, I did not.
on February 4th, 2020?
No, I did not.
How was your mother acting like after you left Pensacola?
I remember that morning when we went to go get breakfast. That was another time that I went into the restaurant, like I went into McDonald's to get our food, and she was just like I just remember her like being sad, just like being like down.
Did you ask her why she sad or down?
Yeah, she was just like because of everything that's going on.
When you get to Orlando, do you remember how long it took you to get to Orlando from Pensacola?
No.
Was it the next day?
Yeah.
What happens when you get to Orlando?
We were supposed to stay there. That was supposed to be like our time that we were gonna stay there for a while. I think she booked our hotel for like 5 or so days, and we left early.
Why'd you leave early, do you know?
She kept saying like, they know I'm here, they're following us.
And who is she referring to when she said they're following us so they know we're here?
The police.
Was she acting the same way she was when we were in Colorado, saying following us and things like that?
Yes.
So what happens after that conversation?
We end up leaving. I remember her saying like, we don't have the money to keep staying at all these hotels in different places, so we drove to Myrtle Beach.
And do you remember when you got to Myrtle Beach?
A day or two after that.
The van in to the Budget Rental Center in Myrtle Beach?
Yes.
Did you go there directly or did you go somewhere else first?
We went somewhere else first.
How long it took to turn the van?
I remember we got to Myrtle Beach. She had parked the van at a hotel near where we were going to stay at like a friend's house.
Okay. Do you know why she did that, or did you ask her why she did that?
No, I think she said like she just didn't want the person that we were staying with, like, for them to get like attention brought to their house.
Did your mom ever mention to you the fact that that van may have had a GPS device on it? She was driving it.
No.
Do you know that?
No.
You know that now?
Yes.
How'd you unload the van in Myrtle Beach, or did you unload the van?
I did not know.
Who unloaded the van in Myrtle Beach?
I was told something of who unloaded the van. I don't know if you want to hear that.
But who told you that? I guess it depends on that.
It is my best friend's mom.
Okay. We can't get into that. We can get into things your mom tells you, but not others, okay?
Okay.
You stay in Myrtle Beach up until the point your mom was arrested?
Yes.
Tell the jury about your mom's arrest.
I was scheduled to go in to meet my recruiter that morning, and she brought me there. She waited in the car that we had there, And that's when I walked in, and like there was like police and everything talking to me and told me that she had been arrested.
Did you actually see her get arrested?
No, I did not.
And did this happen on March 2nd of 2020?
Yes.
Did you give an interview with FBI agent sitting over here?
Yes.
Recognize him?
Yes.
And did you talk about some of the things that we talked about here with regards to the Dollar Tree and the events surrounding Gannon's disappearance?
We did. Yes.
Were you completely upfront with him at that time?
Yes.
When you were talking to him, did you still believe that your mom didn't have anything?
Yes.
And that was before Gannon's body was discovered, is that right?
Yes.
What about when Gannon's body was discovered?
That was a little bit after when I found out it was discovered in Florida. It was just weird because, like, to myself, I was like, we were in Florida. But I kept like wanting to think it was like a coincidence and that somebody like did follow us, or there was a different story.
You still believed your mom even after that?
Yes.
At what point did you not believe your mom anymore? That she didn't have anything to do with
I started having questions, but I still like believed her for a while, and it wasn't until this past like November. It was recently.
What are your thoughts about your mom pleading not guilty by reason of insanity?
I didn't know what it meant at first. Yeah.
Did you learn what that meant in November?
Yes.
Or talked about your life with your mom since the day you were born, as far back as you remember. Have you been with her 24/7?
Yes. Other than like when I was at school or work or.
Would she ever disappear for weeks at a time and you not know where she's at?
No.
Had you always known where she was at up until we talked about the life experience? But did you always know where your mom was at? Or
Yes.
had you ever gone to Australia with your mom?
No.
Have you ever gone to Saudi Arabia? Had mom ever go to Australia or Saudi Arabia without them?
No.
Did you know that if she did?
Yes.
Had you ever seen your mom change personalities into someone she isn't?
No.
What do you mean by that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Has she ever not remembered who you were?
No.
You ever seen her not remember who Al Stauch was?
No.
Have you ever seen her not remember who Gannon was?
No.
Dana.
No.
Had she ever been treated for any mental illness in your lifetime?
No.
Would you know that if she was treated?
Yes.
Did you know if she ever went to a psychiatric hospital and was in an inpatient program and couldn't leave because of some form of mental illness?
Yes.
Did that ever happen?
No.
Had she ever seen a therapist about mental illness that you know of?
No.
During the entire time, especially in January 27th of 2020, all the way up till you go to Myrtle Beach and the stand, your mother had the capacity to know right from wrong.
Yes.
Did you see that with your own eyes?
Yes.
Did she know how to check into rooms?
Yes.
Did she know how to register food?
Yes.
Did she obey the traffic laws?
Yes.
Did she do anything unusual, during this entire trip?
No.
Have you seen people who are mentally ill?
Yes.
Do you know the difference in what I'm talking about? Someone who can't function in society versus
Yes.
Did you see any evidence of that?
No.
Have you seen?
No.
Were you aware that there's kind of a deadline as to when we need to make a decision about filing charges on these?
No.
We don't need any further than that, but at this time, you know you cannot be charged with that, right?
Correct.
But it wasn't part of the agreement that you signed back on August 17th of 2020, you know?
Correct.
And you remember signing the agreement?
Yes.
Do I may approach Sharon?
You may.
She's smart.
Scissors off, open it for you. Make sure I don't disturb the document here.
Before you wade into that, would now be a good time for her.
About to wrap up with this,
That's fine. Nope. It's all good.
Beautiful daughter. Beautiful.
And for the record, I'm pulling out the contents of People's Exhibit 324. I'm going to hand that to you. Looks like this is a 2-page document. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
And can you put those on that table?
Yes.
What is that?
This is what I signed after my interview.
Is that the proffer agreement that you signed back in August of 2020 prior to doing your interview with our office?
Yes.
And is that the same as it was back in August when you signed?
Yes.
Move to admit People's Exhibit 320.
Exhibit 4 will be admitted. Go ahead.
Those are my questions, John. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will take our afternoon recess. If I can have everyone back in the green room at say 3:30, we should be able to start on time at that point. And don't discuss the case among yourselves. Don't discuss the case with anyone else. With that, we will see you at 3:30. All right, greet, please.
Y'all, you know, woo, Jesus. You know, I appreciate y'all being here with me with this trial. This was very emotional. It was very emotional for me because it was a daughter testimony against her mom. And I know how hard it was because her mom continuously to call her, involve her in all of her arguments. Whatever she going through, she involves that oldest daughter. And it just like, it took a toll of me. I held up good. I really held up good. And then I was trying not to burn my oxtail too. But I wish that this is one thing I wish the attorney had did. Let me turn a little music on, y'all. I'm gonna get my reaction to stay. You know, I feel so, oh my God. The daughter did an awesome job. The daughter did an awesome job. It was like she was turning him on. It wasn't like she was turning against her mom. She was just telling the truth. I wish that the attorney had did this. He got off his mic for a minute. I got attorney, please use your mic. because I didn't want to disrespect y'all and put my excuse me, y'all. I don't know why they got right there. I didn't want to disrespect y'all and put my headphones on. If I put my headsets on and my headphones on, it would have stopped y'all from hearing what's going on. And I'm a part of y'all. And I got to talk about Minnie and Camper got on my nerve. These are things that I said between Camper and Minnie and the trial, I'm done. I have tried during this whole trial. I've been like, and I played a good job, role at it with them too, and they look at me. And then another thing, I was trying not to do this. I was trying not to get emotional with the daughter. Your mom's sitting over there and you got to look this way to keep from looking at her because that's your mother. Regardless, it's your mother. If she did right or wrong, it's still your mother. So I think that the oldest daughter did an awesome job. She did an awesome job. I'm weak. I'm sorry. Also, I want to hear from Letecia. I want Letecia to talk. Letecia has taken me through an emotional roller coaster with this case. Cause I want to, what's the outcome? Sometimes you can wait on the outcome and it can weigh against you. To me, it seemed like when they showed the video with the guys in the house, Letecia said dudes was in the house. And one of the dudes act like they knew the daughter. I didn't want to look at it that way. And then I also said, poor girl, because she got to sit there and look like this. I didn't know. It just seemed like when I seen the video of the two guys in the room, but Letecia was pulling she was pulling on she didn't let that briefcase go. I was thrown off from there, but anyway, I said, poor girl. Y'all, I appreciate y'all being with me. Being the real deal, y'all have done a good job sticking with these cases. It's not over. It's not over. I got off from work and I came home. I put my oxtail on. I know y'all don't want to hear it, but y'all know how I used to show. Y'all know how I used to show y'all how I cook stuff. I couldn't show y'all how I did my oxtail, and that hurted me. One thing that hurted me so bad, I rushed here. I said, let me switch clothes. I didn't even take a shower yet. I said, let me switch clothes for my community, my people here. And I said, let me just put some on right quick. I wanted y'all to see how I did my oxtail, but that y'all know how I like to show y'all what I cook, and that hurt my feelings. But I appreciate y'all being here. And I did look, I put this right here. I jumped up from behind this seat because I don't burn oxtail before y'all to where the whole house will burn. I said, I apologize, y'all. I'm boiling oxtail. I had to tell y'all that because I burned a whole, you know how much oxtail costs. But I just want to tell y'all that I appreciate y'all see the tremendously changes that I have done. In this case right here, I am controlling myself emotionally, y'all. I just stopped myself from crying when I saw a couple of y'all coming in here. A couple of y'all came in here and he stopped me. See, that's what y'all got to do is come in here. When y'all show up there, it changes me. It makes me stronger. I'm so weak when it comes down to women and children. I'm so weak. And I felt sorry for the daughter. That's your daughter. And she doing all like this, and then I was doing it. And I know how she feels. But I just want to appreciate y'all being here and, you know, supporting the channel, supporting your channel. And I'm working hard for y'all, for my channel, for y'all channel. I'm working so hard over here. And I'm not done. I got some more work to do. Work must come. Work goes on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end this broadcast, and then what I'm gonna do, respect y'all. If anybody just want to say something, they can. If they don't have to. But at least I respect y'all. You know, at least I feel like I respect y'all. You know, I want to put anybody want to come up here and talk about this case, not what I said. Because see, a lot of people put stuff in the comment section, and here I am with an open live. I pay for this live. Everything I do over here, I pay for it. It's not added to my budget. So I got my I don't want y'all to talk to me after I don't drop the link. Talk to me now. I mean, how you feel that you on a trial? You up there, you going against your mom. You going against your mother. You know how we are, y'all. We don't care if our mother do right or wrong, but still, that's your mother. You looking at it this way. And so, what threw me off with her daughter was something she didn't remember. And she looked like she was just going off the paperwork. And the paperwork's supposed to help you remember some things. I felt sorry for her right there. That right there, I thought they were shrinking her at first. But y'all like, share, and subscribe. I got other works. I gotta finish working, y'all. I love y'all. Peace. This is your girl. Real deal. You already know. I'm out, y'all. So anybody have anything to say before I go out? Male, female, anybody got anything to say about this case? All right, y'all. I got another case to check on and see what's going on there, but I'm gonna eat first because I'm hungry. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Peace. I'm out.